Desiree Fairooz, a woman taken into custody after she laughed during Attorney General Jeff Sessions' confirmation hearing, will go to trial in November for a second time. Fairooz and her lawyer rejected a plea deal offered by the government in which she would have pleaded guilty to one of two charges in exchange for the government recommending a sentence of time served, Assistant U.S. Attorney Kimberly Pascal said in D.C. Superior Court on Friday. Chief Judge Robert E. Morin previously tossed out a jury's guilty verdict against Fairooz in July because the government had improperly argued that her laughter alone was enough to convict. This story begins in early January, way back when Sessions was still on Donald Trump's good side and was the president-elect's nominee for Attorney General. Sessions, a hardline conservative whose nomination as a federal judge had been rejected by the Senate back in the 1980s over concerns about his views on race, had drawn opposition from civil rights organizations and progressive groups concerned about his positions. Fairooz, a retired librarian and demonstrator associated with the group Code Pink, was seated in the audience for his Senate confirmation hearing. While introducing Sessions, Senator Richard Shelby, R. claimed his colleague had a clear and well-documented record of treating all Americans equally under the law. Fairooz found that laughable. So she laughed. The government, however, had explicitly argued during the trial that Fairooz' laughter, in and of itself, would have been enough to find her guilty. Morin, the judge overseeing the trial, rejected that assertion and tossed out the jury's verdict, calling the government's argument that laughter alone was sufficient to sustain a guilty verdict disconcerting. He ordered a new trial. Despite the criticism, the government has indicated it wants another shot at convicting Fairooz and plans to start over again. The whole process, impaneling yet another jury, recalling witnesses, etc., will eat up several days of the court's calendar. A trial date has been set for November 13 to 14. Judge Morin said on Friday that he believed it was clear what he thought about the government's previous theory of the case that laughter was enough to convict. Even if she's convicted yet again, Fairooz is highly unlikely to receive any substantial punishment, though jail time is theoretically possible. Two fellow demonstrators who went to trial alongside her received suspended sentences, meaning they wouldn't have to serve jail time unless they violated certain conditions. But the second trial still raises the question of whether putting Fairooz on trial yet again is a wise use of government time and resources. Fairooz said it is absurd, ridiculous, and a waste of tax dollars that she'll have to go through this process again. Fairooz told HuffPost on Friday that she had rejected the plea deal because it would amount to an admission of guilt, and she does not believe she should have been arrested for laughing in the first place.